Hi, I'm Ross and you're watching Natural Aesthetics, the YouTube channel dedicated to true drug-free bodybuilding. I'm training with John today, another Lifetime Natural, and we're hitting back and chest. So we're starting off with the variation of a bent over row. It's a very underused variation. Really hasn't been used that much since the 90s. This was a go-to prior to the 90s for back development. Everyone did rows like this. A very, very low kind of parallel to the floor stance really. It really targets the lats and emphasises lat development in my opinion. But since Yates, came about in the 90s, obviously with fantastic back development, the Yates row or the 45-degree angle row has been kind of the go-to since that point. And whilst it's a good exercise for overall back mass, and I've used it in the past to great success, I think in general it's going to target the traps, the rhomboids, the rear delts, a little bit more than the lats. It's all about the angle, the trajectory of the movement really. The closer to vertical you go, the more you can involve your traps. Obviously vertical being a shrug, it's mostly traps, if not all traps. So the closer you are to that, the more traps and the less lats, in my opinion. So a nice flat position is going to target the lats. And I have done a video about barbell row in the past, the variations I've used to great effect. If you're interested in watching that and learning about the different variations, then check out the description box. There'll be a link you can click in there. Alternatively, click in the top right hand corner and that will send you to that video now. So getting back to the row, a really old school way of doing it, really, really fun. I like to keep the weight moving at all times, same as my training partner. We both think that's a preferred way of training back. Not really keen on pen lay rows for back development or for getting a pump. I think it's a good strength builder if you're really interested in building a stronger back, maybe helping out your deadlifts. You can use that stop-start technique. It's the same with deadlifts really. If you're working on improving your deadlift and if you are intently focused on improving your deadlift and adding more weight to the bar, then it kind of makes sense to do that stop-start technique because it's a consistent way to gauge your strength. But really, for a bodybuilding perspective, you want something where you can kind of feel that muscle a little bit more and keep the tension on. So touch and go for deadlift or any row you're doing, something where you can keep it moving, in my opinion. And I've done pen lay rows in the past, but just not as keen on them as this type of row, where you're keeping the tension on. You're going from a full stretch, but you're just keeping it moving. And perhaps you're using a little bit of momentum at the beginning of the rep to kind of initiate, but you're still keeping it smooth, keeping it moving at whatever cost really. So you can use a plate or a step of some sort to elevate your body position so you can achieve a greater range of motion on this. Alternatively, you could use smaller plates, smaller circumference plates like 5s or 10s or even 15s. So again, you're increasing the range of motion and maximizing the distance between the plate and the floor. So the more range of motion, the better. Back obviously really benefits from a stretch. I don't think it's something where you should be doing shorter range of motion at all really. It just feels so good when you can get that real good stretch, almost letting your shoulder blade kind of stretch out and come away from the shoulder girdle. It really, really feels good on the lats. So that's why we're using the elevation. As I said, if you haven't got that, then just use smaller plates and you'll really benefit. Otherwise, you're going to start hitting the floor and it's going to kind of throw you off and you're going to turn it into a pen lay row. So I kind of spent a lot of time waffling on about the bent over row there, but really that's predominantly what I wanted to talk about in this video. Even over some of the other training clips for the other exercises. But essentially after the low row, because it's not really used that much these days, don't really see it done, so I thought I'd spend some time explaining that movement, why we do it that way. So the next exercise, bench press, just working up to threes, and then kind of some back offsets at lighter weights. Still working on around a slight niggle in the armpit area. It's a lot better than it was though. Then some lat pull down, again kind of same principle that I was talking about with the low row, same principle being used that you can see, and then some dumbbell incline press or flat press for myself because of the shoulder niggle, and then we did some trap bar deadlift and then some flies at the end of the session to finish up. So thank you for watching. If you did enjoy the video or found it useful, then please consider giving it a like and subscribing to see more true natural bodybuilding videos. Check out my Instagram page, the link is in the description box below, and also maybe consider clicking on the notification button, the little bell icon, to be made aware of any videos I upload automatically. Thank you and stay strong.